You know how they often say never judge a book by its cover? It happened to me today. I often hear people share their stories about how they either met people or interacted with people, and upfront they already assume things about them. And then after the interaction, their minds changed and they realized that they were stupid to just assume that just because somebody looks a certain way, that it shows their skill, their competency, their eloquence, whatever it is that you had assumed wrongly about them. It happened to me today. So I went for my annual medical checkup in the hospital today. Usually, when I go there, all the times I've ever been there, including last year, I've only had white nurses attend to me, right? And they're often very like, "Hello, how are you? Welcome. Sit down. What's your name? I'm going to ask you a few questions. Is that okay? Blah 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 blah." Do you know what I mean? They're always like that. Um, but also every time I go, so you have to give them urine. They have to take your blood, and then if you test the blood and anything comes back with it, then they call you back for a second or further test, or they say, doctor, if they do test your blood, there's nothing, then moving on. Do you know what I mean? So they don't call you. So they always tell you if we don't call you, then there's nothing to see there. You're fine for another 6 months. We'll get back to you, sort of thing. But anyway, it's always very painful to take the blood, right? So no matter how nice they are. I went there today, and first of all, the hospital kept me for quite a while. I don't know what happened. There was quite a few people there today. They saw me like 10, 20 minutes after, so I was a bit grumpy. I got there, knocked the door of the consulting room, and I just had come in, and I went in there. I saw her. I saw she was backing the door, right? So she's facing a wall, facing a computer, backing the door. I come in and she just goes, take a seat. No hello, no hi, no flowery, no nothing like that, no pleasantries. I just went and sat down. As soon as I walked in, I saw her hair, right? She had her hair in a bun. She's obviously African. She's not African, she's a black person. And her hair was like natural black in a bun. So I sat down. That's the first thing I noticed was the reason why I noticed the hair first was because it had colors in it, right? It's completely black, but then there was blue streak and red streak, almost like summer party girl kind of thing. I'm like, oh my god, I'm screwed today. Oh my god, I'm in Lakeisha's hand. The reason why I said Lakeisha, and I hate myself for saying that, is because generally there's a joke about how if somebody is like, you know how they call illiterate people, incompetent, illiterate, ghetto baby mamas, it's always Shaniqua, Lakeisha, sort of thing. So it's sort of like a stereotype, right? So I mentally in my head, I just thought, oh, I'm in trouble today, right? Because I mean, if the other nurses that I've been seeing, they can't take blood without me dying, then today I'm definitely gonna die. So I sat down there, and then without looking at me, right, she said, "I'm going to ask you a couple of questions." She asked me the normal questions. She was typing away. She didn't look at me. But when I sat down, like to her right, I backed the wall she was facing so I could see her face. I realized that she had a nose ring on, like a loop nose ring. It was quite sizable, and then she had like three earrings on either side, on either of her ears, right? And then confirm my name, da 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 da, and eventually she stands up, takes the needle, right? The thing she was going to take my blood. She ties my arm, right? She doesn't say anything to me this whole time, just straight to the point, straight to the point. Ties my arm, and then says to me, "How good are your eyes?" Right? I said, "My eyes are pretty good." She said, "Can you read that over there for me?" I'm like, "Which of them?" Says the one in the da 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 da. I saw when she took out the cover for the needle, right, for the syringe, right? She's like, "Could you read that for me?" You know what I mean? So I thought she was just going to tap to find the veins because they never find my veins. That's like a constant. So I was trying to read it. And I was like, so impacting the blah, 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 blah. And next thing I knew, she said, "Oh, we're done." I'm like, excuse me, done with what? She's like, "No, I've taken the blood I need." I looked down and she had taken two whole vials of blood. The time I was trying to read that thing, she was done. When she got out, I had no idea. It was the most painless blood removal I have ever had to endure. It was so painless. Clearly, she was an expert in doing it, right? And then she says, "Oh, could you stand on the scale for me?" So in this whole time, I'm looking at her. She puts the plaster on my arm. She puts the cotton bud on my arm. Like she's such an expert. She's like in 2 seconds, she's like pow pow pow. The trick she used for me is what they use for babies, right? When babies come to the hospital, you deceive them, you distract them, and then you do what you need to do very quickly, right? But you have to be very deft of hand, right? You have to be like, pow, before they know you're done. And I was like, how did she do that, right? Then she says, climb the scale for me, right? So I got on the scale and I realized, oh my God, guys, I used to be 79 in December. I was 83.5 as of May, right? But I stopped working out in June because a couple of things happened in my life. I stopped working out in June. I climbed the scale and I saw that I said, you can't look down. So she's like, "Oh, you're 86." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm such a fat hippo. Like, how am I 86?" She burst out laughing, which was the first time she's exuded any sort of warmth. She was like, "What did you think you were going to be?" I'm like, "Well, I was 79 in December. I was 83 in May, right? So the jump, 3 kilograms in 1 month." She's like, "Well, but you work out. So once you head back to the gym, You know what I mean? You're gonna snap back. That's how the body is, right? It's good. It means you've had a lot of rest. It means you've like literally been, healthy. You know what I mean? She's like, but you're not too bad really for your height. You're fine at 86. Don't, but get back to the gym, etc. She now says, yeah, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, that's not good enough. I really need to snap back. She's like, really, why? What's the pressure? I said, I'm trying to be like Beyonce. She died. She laughed so hard. She was like, first of all, Beyonce is not 79 kg. I can tell you for free. Second of all, we started laughing. I'm like, please, no, no Beyonce slander will be tolerated. We kind of laughed. It was kind of nice. And as I walked out of there, it just occurred to me that I had just done to her the same thing mentally that they do to many people, including people when they look at me, right? They probably just assume things about me. They assume that because of the way my face is, I have a very stoic look. I'm trying to do the look right now so you can see it like. And I often wonder why nobody approaches me when I go outside. I often wonder why nobody tries to be friends with me. I often wonder why people don't talk to me. But the same me is like, if you see me when I'm resting and I'm listening to music and I'm in the park and I'm happy inside, but I'm always. And then I'm like, I don't know why nobody ever approaches me, nobody talks to me, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, and I said to myself, I guess I'm doing to her what people do to me. They see me at my age, my color, my look, and they just make assumptions about me. They probably assume I'm unfriendly, they assume I'm unintelligent, they assume I probably speak like the movies, you know what I mean, like Wakanda, and then they never get to interact with me and find out that actually I'm different, right? That's not whatever I think in your head is not me. But also that's how I've profiled people as well, right? So the moral of the story is two things. Stop profiling people. Don't judge a book by its cover. I'm going to start wearing ear. I'm going to get my ears pierced. I'm going to wear a nose ring as well, since cool people are doing it, and dye my hair. But more seriously, as you watch this video, think to yourself, all the people in your life who you have just mentally without knowing it, you have stereotyped and you have just put in a certain place. You've considered them of no value to you. They don't have the kind of money you think your friends should have. They don't have the aesthetics you think your friends should have. They're not fair. They're not yellow skinned, light skinned like you think your friends should be. They don't fit the profile that you think you want. Those people may not be the people that you have in your corner, may not be the people that are good for you long term, when the solutions you need might be lying in the hands of the people that you have misjudged, stereotyped, and think are not good enough for you because of how they look, how they sound, what they say. And it's fair enough, we're all allowed to choose who we want to be with, but just know that you might be judging a book by its cover, and it might come back to bite you, which is a lesson that I've learned by myself today, right? Okay. Well, I'm in the park, and if you're wondering why I'm dressed like an Eskimo today when we had a heat wave last week, first of all, mind your business. Second of all, British weather has always does its own things. One minute we're dying of heat and I'm in a puddle on the floor. Next minute I'm freezing. My ears are actually freezing. The sun's not out today. I'm trying to find a good place with good lighting to shoot this video. And it's really, really cold. So everyone's wearing a jacket today. Tomorrow it might be a heat wave again. Who knows? Anyway, thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Cheers.